against the wind all the way, but they moved in very well, and that was the main thing about it. They're pretty well educated, and they did muck around.
Thanks, mate. Most of the runners are set to go. I know John Letts is keen on Brass Halo, and the field's set for a start for the first event. Set, Flemington Stakes, they're off and racing, and let's have a look. And getting away pretty smartly was Bacchanalia, showing good speed in the early part with New York, Cajun Lane. Brass Halo driving up on the inside, followed by Carmisi, Just Ivory behind those. Subliminal getting a little way back, and they were followed by Hula Warrior, who's out wider on the track as well, and that was Hula Grey, and they were followed by Wrangler Boy, Charleston Party. Up with about 600 metres to go. Brass Halo's up sharing the lead here. Wrangler Boy's just in behind him over on the inside. Bacchanalia going up towards the front running, and they were followed by Hula Warrior. Just in behind those, but out wider was Quo Ego. Down the outside, making up a bit of ground was Hula Grey. Running down to the 400 metres point, Bacchanalia shaken up, just led narrowly from the two Hula horses. Hula Warrior, Hula Grey down the outside. Glorious Day running a nice race, and they were followed by Subliminal under the whip, and then Wrangler Boy. 250 metres left to go though, and Hula Warrior kicked away. Hula Warrior shot 3 lengths clear of Glorious Day, running on then Hula Grey, but Hula Warrior's well clear with 100 metres to go, and Hula Warrior's going to win easily. Most impressive. Unbeaten now from 2 starts. Hula Warrior won it by 3. Second, Glorious Day. Flashing home at the finish was Mango's Lunch. Just in behind those was Court Flirtation, Quo Ego, Hula Grey, Bacchanalia, Subliminal, and they were followed in well back by Wrangler Boy, Charleston Party, then Chinese Music and Our Sky, Cajun Lane, Carmisi. New York never in it from Just Ivory. Brass Halo weakened badly after sharing the early lead, and then Andy's Reward, and back towards the tail, Fizam Student.
Well, Dan, there was no excuses for any of the beaten brigade in that, and Greg Hall, a very strong rider. I think that's Greg's first win over the...
And they're about ready to go in, but they all look an absolute picture.
Let's see.
With the Hayes trained horses, Wrap Around and Road Song, very well she looked Wrap Around, and horse that also looked very well was a horse called Alpine Slope, which hasn't been mentioned in the betting at all.
Field just about set now. One of them, a barrier 15, has got caught in the gates badly. She's gone right down underneath the stall. I don't know if it's Alpine Slopes or not. I bet she's in a bad way, upside down at the moment. Just completely did a somersault. In barrier number 15, it's probably Ray of Sunshine now. It's either Ray of Sunshine or Alpine Slopes. I know Ray of Sunshine has often played up and done things like that, but it's made an awful nuisance of itself, and it is upside down underneath the gates. It's barrier 15, whatever it was, and barrier 15, of course, was Ray of Sunshine. Now it was Ray of Sunshine, and she's being led around. Actually, someone's down on the ground too. One of the attendants has been flattened. Gee, she was in an awful state. She got badly cast. Siren's going. She'll be scratched. A bit of a pity. Crackers is down at the barrack. Crackers, you might be able to update us here.
Yes, Dan, there's 2 horses out. Number 8's out, which is Ray of Sunshine by the look of it. They're making an announcement, and then the chestnut out, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at the moment. Mr. Kevin Blackmore, the head starter, has been, as the horse was on the ground, they tried to pull the horse out, the flailing legs got him, and he's still down, and I know he's conscious and all that, but it has shaken him up a little bit, so more worried about Kevin than the horse at the moment. The horses seem to be all right, but they won't race.
Thanks, Crackers. Ray of Sunshine's been scratched. She's out late scratching. Gee, if they ever get her head right, I know. I was down at Robbie Lang's place yesterday, and she's a horse with a lot of potential, but she's got brain trouble, and that sort of has been demonstrated there. But they've got big raps on the horse. Just a pity, because she's done this a couple of times, but she's also very classy. Now, the other horses have been brought up to the gates again, and they're all set, and they're off and racing now. And Samirtha jumped away reasonably well with Country Ballet, and getting out smartly too was Wrap Around, Road Song going fast. Century Pike showing a lot of speed, followed by Luso. Now let's look for Alpine Slopes, and she's back in the field at the moment as they run up towards the 900 metres point, where Road Song and Wrap Around are the joint leaders. The 2 stablemates are in front. Going up the third was Country Ballet, and they were followed by Girl on the Run. Out wider was Alpine Slopes and Luso, the two Friedman fillies together. Smart Road was back behind those, and they were followed by Katabi. Miss Swanky well out of her ground with Rain to Gaze on. And over on the inside, as they run down to about the 600 metres point, was Magic Feeling and Lady Ross. Onto the course proper they go. Road Song had to be shaken up. Road going up on the outside was Wraparound. She's travelling the better. A length and a half, Country Ballet under the whip, and Century Pike running on from Girl on the Run, Katabi, Alpine Slopes, Luso. Wraparound in front, 300 metres to go. Century Pike looked the biggest danger. Then Katabi, 250 to run. Wraparound shaken up for Clark, kick 2 clear. Century Pike second, then Girl on the Run, Miss Swanky down the outside. The favourite in front with 150 metres to go. A couple flying home, including Lady Roz, with the favourites going to win Wraparound. She's 2 in front of Century Pike, and Wraparound wins well. Century Pike second, Lady Roz, what a run it third. Then came Miss Swanky, and they were followed by Sea Mirth and Rain to Gaze on. Girl on the Run next in from Smart Road, Chazette, Country Ballet, followed by Alpine Slopes, and then well back in the field was Wellback Sky's daughter, Katabi. Road Song tired badly with Luso, and near the rear was Magic Feeling. 6, 1 and 11 on race number 2.
Danny, if you took the short odds about that favourite, I don't think you had any worries in the world. Michael Clark had a lot of horse under him when they raced onto the course proper. Outside of the stablemate Road Song. Road Song looked to be the first horse beaten when Peter Hutchison called on her, but Wraparound, she's saddled up very well from last week, and oh geez, a very impressive filly this. She's won her last 3 now. Century Pike was a great run under her big weight, and also the horse that came home, Lady Roz, was an outstanding run to run third.
It was a great run, Lady Ross, because she was a mile back at one stage, and to run on today, I think, especially down the straight races, John, is fairly complimentary, because it's pretty difficult against the wind, and it's a fairly strong wind. It's blowing right in their faces. I think Wraparound was always going to win. Once she got the better of Road Song, I thought Century Pike was going to be the only danger to her, and she wasn't finishing quickly enough. You know, Michael Clark, he rode that filly perfectly. She was well weighted after beating the Colts on Saturday, and she was just too classy for these horses at the weights. Country Ballet showed speed before weakening. Luso and the stablemate Alpine Slopes just never got into the race, but I thought the run of the race, Lady Roz, she was still last with 200 metres to go. Watch her to the far left of screen in the blue cap. Look at her run on strongly. She passes many, many horses as Luso or Alpine Slopes got badly checked there.
When she gets over 1400, Dan, she's going to be a pretty hard filly to beat, isn't she? That was
Welcome back to Flemington. Before the running of race 3, the Queen Elizabeth Stakes, over 2,500 metres, as I said before, the same distance as the Dalgety, Derby and the Oaks. It's a famous distance, 2,500 metres, and the favourite yet to be decided, Bob Mormel. There's 2 of them equal favourites on the tote. Savage Toss, the Argentinian, and the New Zealander, Goliath.
There's no question about who's favourite in the betting ring. The favourite is Goliath. Savage Toss is blown out the gate. Bookmakers are very anxious to lay Savage Toss. You can get a lot better than each way odds about Savage Toss if you look around the ring. Goliath will be the bookmakers' worst result. Water Boatman has always been kept firm at just better than each way odds. The only other one seriously in the betting is In the Money. But the one they've backed for a stack is Goliath, and the one that's drifted out the gate is Savage Toss. Graham, you in the mounting yard waiting with a personality?
Well, Lee, Bob Mormel's just told us Savage Toss drifted out the gate. How does that make you feel?
It doesn't really concern me. I know the horse is, to my eye, he's pulled up well after the Melbourne Cup, and he looks well placed at the weights today. If he can just handle the dead ground, I don't think we've got too many problems.
He went out very well. He looked as though the Melbourne Cup might have even improved him.
I think that's true. I think it has improved the horse, and I was happy to put him in today.
You've done a great job with him to get him fit. It hasn't been easy.
Well, I'll talk to you after this.
Okay, well, good luck and all the best for the race.
Thanks very much.
Over to you at the barrier, Crackers.
Yes, we're down here at the barrier, and a little bit of one gate hasn't opened, so they won't be using one gate, but these old stars have been around a long time. They're just going in, and I'm looking at Goliath. It's broken out a little bit like it did in the Dalgety. Not bad, but it has sort of just got very excited. But over to you, John Letts, and see what you reckon.
Well, it's interesting, Crackers, that Harry White's riding Idle Cinnamon, I think a half a kilo over, and Harry doesn't ride this weight very often, so he must give it a chance. Savage Toss looked very well going to the barrier, but the only thing that worries me about Savage Toss, he had an easy run in front in the Melbourne Cup, but Love Your Perth is also a leader, so he might worry Savage Toss and make it a lot easier for the horses that are sitting behind him, and one of these is going to be Goliath. And but myself, looking at Ideal Cinnamon, he looked very well to me in the yard.
Last one up is Goliath, John Letts. In the Money, a bit toey, and barrier 2. The field set to go for the Queen Elizabeth. Set now, lights on. And they're off and racing. Water Boatman missed the start by a length, and the first out was Love You Perth from Savage Toss, Ideal Sentiment. Wider out on the track was Cosign. Son of Carrying Bush, Goliath was up there as well. Well, Cosign's going to lead. Here's a surprise, a lap to go. And the Colin Alderson train, Cosign's in front of the Queen Elizabeth. From Son of Carrying Bush and third, Love You Perth. Then Savage Toss and Goliath crap 3 deep, and Ideal Sentiment over on the inside of Beyond the Bay. Then Opalette, Tiendi 3 deep, a length away Water Boatman, 1.5 then a Tremoria, and they were followed by Wellback, River's Edge and Pabulum, Delmar, and last of all was In the Money. Along the back with 1,800 metres to travel, and Cosign led by a length to, and second placing now Goliath making a quick sprint around the outside, and he'll go up towards the lead. Son of Carrying Bush now third, followed by Love You Perth and Savage Toss. A length away Ideal Sentiment, 2 lengths to Opalette, racing on the inside of Beyond the Bay. Around them Tiendi 3 deep, and then Water Boatman the middle. Tremoria the fence about 2 lengths further back than the River's Edge, and back on the inside was Delmar, and towards the tail Pabulum, and last of all In the Money about 10 lengths off the lead. 1,400 metres left to travel, and the leader is Cosigned by a neck now to Goliath, who's pulling a little bit. A length and a half to Love You Perth, and then Son of Carrying Bush and Ideal Sentiment the rails. A length away Savage Toss, who settled pretty well today despite not being able to lead. Opalette the inside, Tiendi 3 deep, Beyond the Bay the middle, then Water Boatman outside Tremoria. 2 lengths away then a Pabulum, and Delmar's gone back to second last on the outside of In the Money, and there's about 12 lengths between first and last. 1,000 metres left to go. Cosign led by a nose to Goliath. Here's Son of Carrying Bush going up 3 wide. He quickly went up to hit the lead, the Bolter. 2 lengths away in fourth placing was Ideal Sentiment on the inside of Love You Perth. Then Savage Toss, followed by Tiendi, Opalette, Water Boatman, Tremoria, and they were followed by Pabulum and In the Money last of all as they approach the turn. About 650 metres to travel, and the leader is Son of Carrying Bush narrowly from Savage Toss going up on the outside. Goliath in the middle, Cosign under pressure, then Ideal Sentiment, Beyond the Bay and Tiendi hooked out, and they were followed by Tremoria as they come around the home turn. About 500 metres to go, and Savage Toss has raced away. Savage Toss 3 lengths in front of Goliath. Here's Water Boatman down the outside from Tiendi and Ideal Sentiment. Savage Toss 300 metres to go, full of running, led 4 lengths. In second placing was Ideal Sentiment, then Water Boatman, Tiendi, Beyond the Bay and Tremoria. From In the Money, Savage Toss 2 lengths in front with 200 to go. Ideal Sentiment trying to run him down, but Savage Toss has got a big break and they won't get him. And Savage Toss wins the Queen Elizabeth Stakes by 2.5 lengths. Great go for the Miners. I think Water Boatman got second in front of Tremoria and Ideal Sentiment. Then Tiendi, and they were followed in by Delmar, Beyond the Bay. Further back, Love You Perth and Opalette, Goliath. Pabulum, Cosign, In the Money, second last Son of Carrying Bush, and last of all was River's Edge. Winner of the Queen Elizabeth Stakes is number 2, Savage Toss, written by Jim Cassidy. And G. John Letts, didn't he look full of power at the 400 when he raced away? He's going to pay $2.90, $1.10 for second, $5.05 for third, but it is a photo for the Miners.
Danny, it was a great win, and ridden differently today than what he was in the Melbourne Cup. He led all the way till about the 400 metres in the Melbourne Cup, and today ridden off the speed by Jim Cassidy. As we said, Love You Perth and him are both leaders, and they both dropped in behind Cosign, who give in very quickly today. I was surprised because he's not a bad horse, Cosign. But Savage Toss, gee, looked the winner a long way out. The only chance in the race I thought of beating him was Ideal Sentiment. His run had finished about 100 metres out, and then it was left to the others to come home to run second. I think
Tremoria's got second, number 8, yep.
Yes, and but all honours with the winner. Here he is, Savage Toss, and he doesn't have to lead, Dan, does he, to win?
No, Water Boatman actually missed the start about a length here. I don't think that was to his disadvantage, but he sort of walked out of the gates. But you're dead right, Savage Toss, he wasn't pressured to lead, but I mentioned in the call at about the 1400, he settled well, and that was most important.
I think that the track being soft today has helped this horse a lot too, because this has helped a lot of these horses today. It's helped Water Boatman as well as the winner.
Peter Donegan's going to talk to Lee Phoeben, won the Melbourne Cup last year, and Savage Toss ran a cheeky race Tuesdays, backed up today, and he won very powerfully, Peter.
Well, Lee, he did answer the question beautifully.
Yeah, I've said all along, I think he's a very good horse. It's just taken a while to get him right, and I really think if they ran the Melbourne Cup today, he would have won it. So the run obviously improved him, and he ran right up to that Cup form.
Was the plan to ride him in behind today?
Well, we wanted to get the cover from the wind, and I said to Jim, if he's travelling well at the 800 and they're trying to make it a non-staying test, I said, this is a high-class horse, just put the pressure on him. And when he went clear, he just kept going under a soft ride. He's a very, very good horse.
It did turn into a staying test too, because he sprinted at the 600, but they just couldn't get near him at the finish.
No, I don't think he's carried 55.5 in a race, whether it's here or Argentina, for a long while. So I think he really appreciated the drop in the weight, and he just showed his true class today.
He really didn't have the best of the handicap handicapping in the Melbourne Cup, it's a well-documented fact, but he won, what, $1 million race over at home, and he's paid the penalty ever since, really.
Well, I think that's correct. Combination of things were against the horse. I think, early on, I don't think we had him as fit for one reason or another, and then he struck a succession of wet tracks, and that didn't help either. So.
Tremendous runs, but one thing about it down here, she's very cold, Dan. It takes a game man to be down here at the moment. Looking around a bit, but here's one of the game men, John Letts.
Thanks, Crackers, and Mrs. Joe Gargery. Well, everywhere I went this morning, the coat pullers wanted to tip her to me. She looked very well going out in the yard. And but the top weight is a horse that I liked in the race, Fairy Dreams. She looked magnificent. I see her walking around here with the Bart Cummings polish on her, and Fairy Dreams looked the part with Jim Cassidy in the saddle. But gee, the coat pullers, all I want to tell you is Mrs. Joe Gargery.
Only a couple to go up. Yeah, I was very keen on her last night and this morning. Get put off at the price. I think she's probably under the odds, although she keeps drifting out slightly to more, or to a more fanciful price. About 7-2 on the tote, but I did think that Princess de Powys looked extremely well. Now, Bassie's Pride has set the Queensland mare. Princess Phoenix goes up, and the last one along will be Pacific. That never missed a place until its last start at Moonee Valley, trained by David Hayes, Michael Clark, the rider. She's a winner here. Over 1800 Pacific, and the Dulcify colours goes in the field set to go for the Rakovala Stakes. Set now. Lights on. And away and racing. And one of the first out, Princess Phoenix from My Warning. Bassie's Pride wide out with Funners Racing. Trieste has jumped away nicely. Pacific going through in the middle, and they were followed by Princess de Powys and then Thelma Josephine, Peaceful Lily. Intent Gaze drifting back through the field for Miss Nora Lee. Second last when they settled Fairy Dreams, and Mrs. Joe Gargery 2 lengths away last, but that's her usual pattern of racing. 1,600 metres to go, and Pacific worked to the front from Bassie's Pride, trapped wide. Then My Warning and Trieste over on the inside of Peaceful Lily, followed by Funners Racing, Princess de Powys on the inside of Thelma Josephine, then Miss Nora Lee over on the inside, going around the wide Princess Phoenix, and then came Fairy Dreams, and last of all, a length and a half back now was Mrs. Joe Gargery, and Intent Gaze was third last, and the field of 13 covered up by about 10 lengths. 1,200 metres to go, and Pacific in front, settled well for Michael Clark, led 3/4 to Bassie's Pride. 1.5 to My Warning, a length away Peaceful Lily, and then Trieste, followed by Funners Racing. Intent Gaze going closer now, 3 wide though, then Princess de Powys and Fairy Dreams, followed by Princess Phoenix and Miss Nora Lee, Thelma Josephine, and a length away Mrs. Joe Gargery. About 900 metres to go, and Pacific in front by 3/4 to Bassie's Pride. 1.5 to Peaceful Lily on the outside of My Warning, then Trieste on the inside of Princess de Powys and Funners Racing, going around them Intent Gaze and Fairy Dreams, then Miss Nora Lee, followed by Mrs. Joe Gargery, Princess Phoenix and Thelma Josephine. Around the turn, 600 metres to go, and Pacific in front for Michael Clark. By a length to Bassie's Pride, 2 away, third Peaceful Lily. Then My Warning, followed by Princess de Powys, Trieste on the inside. Fairy Dreams into the clear, and then Intent Gaze, 400 to go. Bassie's Pride hit the front. Bassie's Pride drew clear from Pacific, Peaceful Lily. Then came down the outside, Funners Racing, Mrs. Joe Gargery late, and then came My Warning, Intent Gaze. Bassie's Pride raced away, she's got it won. 4 clear of Funners Racing, Mrs. Joe Gargery down the outside, but Bassie's Pride's well in front with 50 metres to run, and she'll win easily. Bassie's Pride walks in, wins it by about 5. Second Funners Racing, and next to Mrs. Joe Gargery third, then Fairy Dreams, followed by Thelma Josephine, Princess Phoenix, Intent Gaze, Peaceful Lily and Pacific, Princess de Powys, My Warning, Miss Nora Lee, and Trieste was back of the tail. How easy was that? Number 6, Bassie's Pride, ridden by G. Duffy, $2.30 and 95, $3.25 for second, 85 for third. There, the expected dividends. It was actually Neil Williams that rode the winner, Bassie's Pride, not G. Duffy. Of course, he's indisposed. Darren Beedman taking the right on Arc Regal, but she made that a cakewalk, John.
Then she was going to win a long way from home. She sat just off the speed set by Pacific, and when Neil Williams moved her out at the turn, she got to the lead very easy. You can see her here racing onto the 400-metre mark, and she's about 3 or 4 lengths in front. Mrs. Joe Gargery, as you say, it's a trait with her to get back to last, but she can't go giving these horses big starts like that and beating them and carrying 55 kilos. It's pretty hard, but this filly's won very easily, this mare, and Bassie's Pride, very easy winner there, and just ridden to the line, hands and heels by Neil Williams. Mrs. Joe Gargery's run third, and Funny's Racing I thought was a very good run to run second.
Yeah, it was a good effort actually.
But here she is again, Dan, that she's just going straight to the line, and there's no excuses for any horse behind her. They all had every chance to beat her.
Well, she did do a bit of work early too, because she was wide. She drew barrier 15, had to work up on the outside of Pacific. So she did probably more work in the race than most of the other horses, and she still bolted in. So the best horse in the race won that. I've got no doubts about it. Number 6, the winner, Bassie's Pride, Neil Williams, defeating Gary Willitz's Mount Funners Racing, and the third place, Mrs. Joe Gargery, ridden by Philip Alderman. There you can see the skies behind Bassie's Pride. They're pretty dark. But horses like Gamine and Echo Lass and Cool Credit have got fantastic chances. You could pick 4 or 5 the horses and still be not happy with what you pick. But I'll go for Eastern Classic at 20-1 chance. We're going to feel sorry for you.
You just said it starting to lighten off, Dan. It's not true. It's fanning and raining, cats and dogs. It's got hail out here. The horses at least are settled down. I'm looking over them now. They're trying to get them in, and I'm just having a look at Cool Credit. He looks a treat, but very difficult conditions here at the moment for the people trying to get the horses in. But Kevin Blackmore and Paula Hearn, they're all doing a very good job, but it's very, very hard.
Thanks, Crackers. Bob Mormon in the betting ring. Go-Pack's been sensationally backed on the tote. Has that been likewise in the ring?
No, not likewise in the ring, but it is the most solidly backed runner in the field at the moment, according to the 3 bookmakers I asked, but it hasn't tightened up all that much because this is such a wide open betting race. We've still got Ricochet Rosie at 9-2, half a point better than each way odds. Shaftesbury Avenue very, very well backed, but a wide betting race with Go-Pack probably the best back to the others, and Pressman's Choice has been well fancied. Graham Kelly's got Johnny Tadler, the trainer of Pressman's Choice, in the weighing enclosure at the moment. We'll go to Graham.
John, it's been well backed in the ring. Pressman's Choice, how will he go?
I think he ran very well. I think it all boils down to luck in the run, Graham.
Good luck, John.
Thank you very much.
Graham Kelly there with John Sadler. John Letts.
Well, Dan, looking at the bottom weight, Welcome Night, the horse we did discuss earlier, he's been very well supported on the tote, but the big money has come for Go-Pack, and there's a lot there to say that he can win. Myself, looking at the race, I think Arc Regal's going to be up near the speed, and we've just had a heavy shower here, and I think you've got to be pretty close to him now because they're going to be throwing back a little bit of mud.
Last couple being brought up. Welcome Night's going up to the barriers riderless. Brian Werner dismounted, the South Australian horse, probably one of the best horses in South Australia going in, Crackers.
Yeah, so they're just having a little bit of trouble, but the boys have got him under control. Brian had to jump off and just let him in now, but they're settled very nicely. In the conditions, the horses are very well behaved. They've been around a few times before, so there's nothing new to them, but this is a very challenging situation out here at the moment.
It is indeed, not just for the horses and the attendants, but definitely for Peter Crackers Keenan. Don't envy your spot at all, Crackers. Now the last of them going up. Now another one's riderless. It's Spot the Rock. Spot the Rock and Pressman's Choice will be the last 2 to come up. Better Loosen Up won this race last year. Eastern Classic finished second 2 years ago and finished second 4 years ago. So we've got a long history in this event. Maybe third time lucky, but it's taken 5 years if it will be the case. Now Ma Wong's ready, so is Pressman's Choice. They're set to go for the Honda Stakes over the mile here at Flemington. All ready to go. 3 greys in the event. Favourite one of them, Ricochet Rosie. Spot the Rock, Our Grey Invader, the other 2. And they're set. Lights on. Racing in the Honda Stakes. Cool Credit a little bit slow with Our Grey Invader. Ricochet Rosie won the start from Go-Pack and Arc Regal. Eastern Classic going up with Natural Wonder. Out wider was Shaftesbury Avenue in search for the lead, followed by Spot the Rock and Welcome Night out deeper. Over on the inside was Cool Credit. Eastern Classic got shuffled back there with Comrade. Over on the inside was Echo Lass, and back towards the tail was Ma Wong. And settling back at the rear of the field was Our Grey Invader with Prince Alieri. About 1,100 metres left to travel, and Shaftesbury Avenue's in front for Cassidy. Led a half a length to Spot the Rock. 1.5 to Welcome Night outside Arc Regal. 1.5 to Natural Wonder. Ricochet Rosie's over on the inside. They were followed by Pressman's Choice, caught out deep around the outside of Our Poverty Bay and Go-Pack. Then Cool Credit, followed by the Gentry. Comrade around Eastern Classic, Ma Wong. Echo Lassen back towards the tail of the field was Our Grey Invader. Running up towards the home turn. Oh, one of them's broken down badly. Welcome Night it is, has broken down, ran off the track of the crossing there and fell over. And as they come around the turn in the Honda Stakes at Shaftesbury Avenue in front, in second placing as they come around the turn, Ricochet Rosie, Spot the Rock. The run came for Arc Regal, followed by Go-Pack, Cool Credit. Echo Lass well back on the inside, Eastern Classic, Natural Wonder. Gamine down the outside, running on with Pressman's Choice. Shaftesbury Avenue, 300 metres to go, got away. He's 2.5 lengths in front of Spot the Rock and Ricochet Rosie down the outside, then Pressman's Choice. Shaftesbury Avenue, 200 metres to go, 2.5 lengths in front. Pressman's Choice and Conrad are running on strongly, but Shaftesbury Avenue's got it one, I feel. Shaftesbury Avenue's 3 lengths clear and another Group 1 win for Cummings. Shaftesbury Avenue wins by 3 lengths. Second, Spot the Rock. Third, Pressman's Choice, and then Comrade, followed by Our Grey Invader, Prince O'Leary, Gamine Eastern Classic. Then Ricochet Rosie, Our Poverty Bay, Cool Credit, Go Pack, Arc Regal, Echo Lass, Marwong, Natural Wonder, well back, and towards the tail was the Gentry, and an awful accident happened at the crossing at about the 800 metres point. I said the horse broke down. All I saw what happened was the horse run off and eventually fall. John Letts, I don't know whether he broke down or not, but gee, it was a nasty incident.
No, he never broke down, Dan. I think what he tried to do, I think he tried to run out the gate, and the track being a little bit greasy after that shower of rain, he's just slipped over, and fortunately Brian Werner and the horse are both okay. But he got up, he went into the bushes, and the attendants have caught him, and Brian Werner is actually back on him now. But I think what's happened, he's had a little bit of a wayward horse, this horse, and as we've seen him going into the barrier, he's been banned at the barrier, and I think what's happened, he's tried to run out the gate, but he can't even turn him now. He's trying to go back out the gate, and he's already on his back, and he's got an attendant.
There it is here. You watch the horse sitting fourth outside Pressman's. Look at him take off at the crossing.
He's tried to run out the gate.
And he did slip over it. He's just hit the turf, and look at his back legs go from underneath him, and then he took off. So
Danny, fortunately, it was lucky the track was wet and it was soft, and he did slip over, because if he didn't slip, I think he'd have been in a lot of trouble. He'd have kept his feet and he'd have gone straight out through those trees.
Well, what a week for Bart Cummings, eh? Shaftesbury Avenue. What a ride by Jim Cassidy, I might add, with the rain. That fella probably going to suit horses up in front. Went to the front on Shaftesbury and they couldn't catch him.
They couldn't catch him, and he was just too good in the run home, Danny. He was... But the second horse was a good run too, Spot the Rock, and also the third horse, I think the barrier might have beaten Pressman's Choice. He was wide all the way. But Bart Cummings, when he gets on a roll, stick with him, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. What a week it's been. He's won the feature race on the Tuesday, the Thursday and the Saturday, and the only one that I tipped was in the Derby on Saturday, and he missed out, so I probably mossed him there. But what a week. David Hayes, Bart Cummings, two of the biggest names in racing, and they've dominated the 1990 VRC Spring Carnival. Here's the head-on shot right up against the place to be, Shaftesbury Avenue, and it bolts in for Jimmy Cassidy. And Spot the Rock was a very good run, I thought. It was an excellent run.
It just goes to show what the class of the field was like. Spot the Rock's a horse that's won 11 out of 26. He's down on nearly on the minimum. He's down on 53 kilos. I mean, there's some very good horses in this race, and very, evenly matched. So, Shaftesbury Evans, he's won 8, now, out of 17. But he's up to, the 600 and 700, nearly $1 million earner again in our present hit this week, haven't we? We've had Riddell only recently got it, and there's just horses all the time just seem to be making that magic million very easily now.
Indeed. He started favourite in the 2-8 handicap, Shaftesbury Avenue, went ordinary. But there's a big cheer for Jimmy Cassidy. What a week for him too. He won the Oaks Thursday, and of course the big one today, but he could have been riding the Melbourne Cup winner on Tuesday. Again, what a week for Bart Cummings. Peter's with Bart.
Well, Bart, we should start making appointments after race 5 over the carnival, because we keep on talking to you. The Derby was the only race where we missed out.
It's nice to win these big group races here, but you don't have to make an appointment every 2 weeks. I'm easy to get to.
Now, Shaftesbury Avenue, he got on the wrong leg at Caulfield. Was that the problem?
Yeah, he couldn't handle that going at all. We decided to forget the Cox plate and concentrate on this race here, and he adapted himself pretty well during the week, and his run here was very good. So he worked really good during the week.
He was in front a long way from home. Was that a concern?
Well, it wasn't intended to be, but I was told him to get over in the wide barrier. A lot of bad horses in the race, and he got over, and the horse won the stride, so he just let him bowl along. I think he's rated it pretty well, really. What are the plans from here on in with him, Bart? Give him a spell now, take him to Princess Farm, give him a break, and we'll work on some other races later on, Doncaster or something like that.
There's the scene for the sprinters and the Australian Airlines flying. They're in the mounting yard for race number 6. It's a straight run, 1,100 metres, and usually, as I said before, the best horse wins this particular race. But there are a couple of straight specialists, in particular Grandiose, Mr. Cube, and talented sprinters of the likes of Diera, Street Ruffian, and the Western Australian Pago Escort. Street Ruffian, 175, is just behind Grandiose in favouritism for the 6th event, $1.60 Grandiose. The third pick would be Mr. Cube at $3.85. He looked a treat in the yard too. I just had a quick glance across. Timpanized, Pago, Escort, Diera, all given chances, and so too is Yankee Miner over the page, number 10. A brilliant win last start at Geelong, and he's at $3.80. As we go down to the mounting yard, there's $224,000 in the windfall for this event, Peter Donegan. And, well, I suppose it's not just Grandiosa's race. There are some good sprinters in there because the good horses have got plenty of weight to carry.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. Certainly not a two-horse race by any stretch of the imagination, but they do look the two to beat on past form, Street Ruffian and Grandiose. Let's take a look at Street Ruffian now. Here in the Australian Airlines Flying, a third at Moonee Valley at its last start. That was in the Moyer Stakes behind With Me, the filly that sprinted away from them on the home turn. And Street Ruffian battled on well. Worth keeping in mind, Rodelva ran second in that race, so he's proven the form pretty good. And prior to that, Street Ruffian had run second at Caulfield. He's a very smart sprinter, this fellow. And with 59 kilos, well, he's got his fair share of weight, but he carries weight pretty well, and he is certainly the big danger to my pick in the race, Graham Grandiose.
Number 2, Grandiose, Michael Clark in the saddle, is a straight 6 specialist. He's won 5 races down the straight course. He didn't have any luck at all when 13th behind Planet Ruler in the Gadsden Stakes. As trainer David Hayes says, the strong wind will make this race more like a 1,200-metre event, and that will help Grandiose, and he's certainly going to be hard to beat.
Pago Escort number 3 is one that is being kept safe in the betting, about a 9-to-1 chance on the Victorian Tate. Darren Gauci is the rider, and Pago Escort had excellent form in Perth, a winner at Belmont back in June. Then its next run was in September, where it won again in a sprint over 1,000 metres there and ran 56.6. Now that's pretty smart time over 1,000 metres in anyone's language. And then it finished in the middle of the field behind Rise and Shine in a sprint at Caulfield on the 20th of October. So it has been freshened up for this about 3 weeks since its last appearance. And Pago Escort number 3 looks a pretty fit racehorse.
Number 4, Mr. Cube, with Damien Oliver aboard, is my selection in the race. He has won over 1,100 metres here in March, and he's got a good chance.
5, Timpanize, a winner at Werribee at its last start, defeating Count Comer, prior to that form had been pretty ordinary and would need to improve.
5, Timpanize, Stephen King aboard, one at Werribee at his last start. It's got to be hard to beat.
Yes, OK, well, let's go to number 6, Daira now. It ran second at Caulfield behind Diamond Zephyr. Diamond Zephyr proved the form good here by winning brilliantly on Thursday. And Daira is a definite chance in the David Hayes stable.
Number 8, Western Sovereign, finished third to Belook at Caulfield at his last start. Would have to improve on that.
Yankee Miner's one with a chance, showing 385 on the Victorian Tate. Impressive in winning at Geelong last start, defeating Brosberg. And that form reads pretty well.
Number 11, Inca, finished, resumed with a second last at Kyneton at his last start. This looks way beyond him.
OK, Graham, so what did you think?
I've gone for number 4, Mr. Cube.
And I've gone for number 2, Grandiose. Here's Dr. Turf with his thoughts on race 6.
Pete, to me, weight seems to be the only thing stopping Grandiose here. 58.5 kilos, a slight worry, but he loves this track. He loves this straight course. He looks terrific in the yard, and he really is the one to beat here. I was taken with Yankee Miner's looks. He looks very strong. And also the Perth galloper, Pago Escort, looked very well as well. But the one they've all got to beat is Grandiose here. Danny?
Thanks, Doctor. Runners on the way to the starting point now for the 6th event. Grandiose, I imagine, would be favourite, Bobby?
Yes, they've put stacks on Grandiose. As a matter of fact, it's a very, very short price favourite as we speak, young Dan. Street Ruffian's got the drifts, has drifted out to what some would consider to be luxury odds right now from almost from the opening betting. Street Ruffian's price has been sneaking out. The 2 West Aussies have been kept safe at a couple of points above each way odds, and early on there was very, very strong support for Mr. Cube, but that support has stopped now. And as the money came for Grandiose, most runners firmed out, except, as I flick over the page, Dan, I've got one that has firmed up,
Yankee
and the
Miner.
horse is Yankee Miner. There has been solid support for Yankee Miner over the last 5 or 10 minutes. There have been a succession of bets in excess of $200, usually taking the each way about Yankee Miner. Blokes have just quietly been going around with $100 or $200 and putting it on the Yankee, and his price has firmed up a point from his opening quote. And yeah, they're still putting a little bit on. He's come in another half a point, Dan, so that's one they obviously think will go well. Back to you, Danny.
Yeah, I think he will too, Bobby, because he beat Brosberg on Tuesday, and Brosberg, sorry, not on Tuesday, but at Geelong, and then Brosberg come out and won on Tuesday, Cracker, so the form behind Yankee Miner is pretty good.
Yes, and probably looks well, but I like Grandiose, just an absolute champion down here on the straight course. The wind's going to play a big factor in this, Dan. It's blowing a gale, and one thing I will tell you, I'll never forget the Honda Stakes. That was the worst 5 minutes of my life, but the horses are just milling down here now, and just watching the Grandiose come down, and looks an absolute treat. And Clark, and I suppose Street Ruffian, Mickey Houston's horse, nothing wrong with his form. One thing about it, he's got great colour.
I think two Crackers with a wind up there. I imagine it's still pretty blowy. I'm just looking at the flagpoles now. It's very windy. Probably going to suit Grandiose because he won't lead. He'll be just off the pace.
Well, he'll be getting home over the top of him right at the finish because he's a very strong horse. He's probably suited to the straight 6, but this wind will pull him back a bit. They won't go as hard, and the last rain would have softened the track up a little bit.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Crackers. John, let's... you know, I reckon there's 5 chances in the race, but what's your selection?
Danny, I've found 6 chances in the race, but the horse that I like is Street Ruffian. He looked very good in the yard, and his last time out in the Moya Stakes behind with me was a good run, and he was half a neck behind Redelva, and we know how good he is. They'd break the track record, but it's interesting to note that neither of these horses have won down the straight run, and it's going to be very interesting. Like Grandiose over 1,200 metres is a very hard horse to beat at Flemington. Over 1,200, I would say that he was nearly a good thing in this race, but Street Ruffian, I did see him win in Adelaide, and he's a very fast horse and a very smart horse. But as Cracker says, it's blowing a gale down there. He's got 59 kilos, and more than likely he'll lead, and this could play into Grandiose's hands pretty well. Yeah,
I could see Street Ruffian and Deira going very hard early, and perhaps Grandiose getting the sit on them. On the tote, Street Ruffian's at 185, 150 Grandiose, 555 Pago Escort, 365 Mr. Cube, 634 Timpanize, Deira at 560, 1050 Western Sovereign number 8, and Yankee Miners at 385, Inca 35.55. Grandiose has got a fabulous record on the track, 13 starts here, and he's missed a place just once, and that was in the Gadsden Ream on Saturday, and there was plenty of hard luck stories as to why the horse did miss a place. So on that, he's got to be a big chance. He ran third to Joanne and Redelva back on the 6th of October, beaten a length and a half. He's up a little bit in weight, but really the class is down a bit. It's a handicap now, and he's certainly the horse to beat, I feel, Grandiose. But chance has got to be given to Deira. She'll go quick, but she can stop quick. Street Ruffian, Mr. Cube's got to be a big chance, and also Yankee Minor. And even Timpanize on his day is a very, very good sprinter. Big win first up. But the odds they're offering for Street Ruffian is almost double what he is on the tote at the moment, and he's about 3-1 on the tote. Runners are moving into the stalls. Yankee Minor about to go up. Plenty of money exchanging hands at Flemington.
400.
A lot of it going on Grandiose as Western Sovereign goes up towards the stalls. Western Sovereign, ridden by Shane Dye, is a winner here, but his best form seems to be at Moonee Valley. Track was rated dead all afternoon. There were showers in Melbourne yesterday and also today. Western Sovereign goes up to the gates. Most of the runners have been locked away, only 1 or 2 out. Pago Escort and Timpanize the Grey. He's got a good record, 25 starts, 9 wins, 8 seconds and 2/3. He ran second to a horse called Better Loosen Up the day that Better Loosen Up broke his maiden status at Bendigo. And his trainer on that day, Les Theodore, said he'd win by about 10 lengths. Well, the horse finished 2 lengths behind him with 8 lengths to the third horse, and the horse 2 lengths behind him was Timpanize. 135 Grandiose as he continues to firm right up for the Australian Airlines Flying. And good money late now for Mr. Cube, we believe, number 4. Good money for the Western Australian Mr. Cube, a winner over this course and distance back in March. Yankee Minor on the second page is at 375 and 95. There's $500,000 in the win pool and $250,000 in the place pool. So over $750,000 in the win and place pool on this race. Western Sovereign is ready. Pago Escort is just behind the gates with Timpanize. 1,100 metre race. A field of 9 running. Street Ruffian, Grandiose, Pago Escort, Mr. Cube, Timpanize, Deira, Western Sovereign, Yankee Minor and Inca. 2 horses from the Hayes stable are Deira and Grandiose. Deira expected to go very quick. So is Street Ruffian. Fabulous racehorse. 8 wins from 30 starts. Michael Hewson's done a grand job with this sprinter. He's got a lot of weight to carry today, 59 kilos. Now just waiting on Timpanize to come up to the stalls. Jockey Stephen King. As you can tell by the blades of grass, it's fairly windy out there. Attendants working on Timpanize. And he's just about to come forward. A 5-year-old by And Behind out of Timpanella. And Behold out of Timpanella. The attendants working on getting the horse into the gates. Previous event was the feature event won by Shaftesbury Avenue and defeated Spot the Rock and Pressman's Choice. Welcome Night fell over in the race at the crossing, tried to take off at the 800-metre crossing where the horses go in and out for track work during the week. He's stabled at Flemington, an Adelaide horse, but stabled down here while he's in Melbourne. The horse was quite okay, but could have injured himself quite severely. And Brian Mooney, the jockey, was quite okay as well. Timpanize goes up riderless. Sixth event today. The field nearly set to go. Timpanize now appears to be ready. Stephen King back aboard. Grandiose and Barrier 5. Street Ruffian in 2. The lights on. Set to go. Racing. Jumping out quickly, Mr. Cube on the inside from Street Ruffian. Diera going fast as well, and so was Yankee Minor. And they were followed just behind them by Grandiose, and wider out on the track was Pago Escort and Timpanize, and Western Sovereign back to the tail. 800 metres left to travel now, and Street Ruffian worked to the front from Mr. Cube. Going through to be third was Diera, and they were followed by Inca on the inside of Yankee Minor. Grandiose 4 away from the rail, and they were followed by Pago Escort out wider from Timpanize and Western Sovereign. Onto the course proper they go, 600 metres to travel. Mr. Cube on the inside of Street Ruffian. Going up 3 deep was Diera, followed by Grandiose. Timpanize behind them, followed by Yankee Minor. Pago Escort down the outside, and then came Inca and Western Sovereign. Inside the 400 metres point now, wide out Pago Escort goes up with Grandiose to join the leaders. Mr. Cube under pressure, followed by Diera in the middle, running on Timpanize. Western Sovereign. Pago Escort went to the front, 250 metres to go. Grandiose fighting on. Here's Western Sovereign. Grandiose fighting back on the inside of Pago Escort. Western Sovereign down the outside. Grandiose fighting on. Western Sovereign over the top. Western Sovereign took the lead and an upset. Western Sovereign won. Western Sovereign got up on the last stride and beat Grandiose and Pago Escort. Then came Timpanize, followed by Yankee Minor, Inca. A break to Diera, Street Ruffian, and Mr. Cube was last. Just got up on the last couple of strides, John Letts, Western Sovereign.
Yes, Dan, and what a great race. And three of the well-fancied horses going over the line together. Grandiose, when he went past us about the 100 metres, he looked like he was going to win, but Shane Dye wouldn't give up on Western Sovereign, and he's just got there, as you say, in the last couple of hops. But, oh, gee, it was a great race, wasn't it? From the 100 metres in, it was just any of three. Here we go. And the horse that's just in behind, Danny, was, I thought, was a little bit unlucky, the grey horse. Timpanize. It looked as if it was going to get run, but you see the run close here, I'd say, in the head-on film, and there's Timpanize. It's just in behind, and he's had to stop riding him there. And I'd say if you back Timpanize today, follow him the next time out. But here's Shane Dye working very hard on Western Sovereign, and he just arrives in time. Gee, Grandiose is a great old horse, isn't he? Isn't he a trier?
Very consistent. He did fight undoggedly. Gee, they stopped quick, the leaders in that race, John.
Oh, they did. Well, Dan, as Cracker said before the race, there was a gale blowing down there on the track, and it was head-on into it. And we had horses like Street Ruffian with 59 leading, and he was one of the first horses beaten. And it was just interesting. I was watching Darren Triandaflu, and he was the first one to slap up. And like they just never got near him at the finish. And those horses that had been travelling up outside him had been just too good in the run home.
8, 2 and 3. The winner about 25 to 1 on the Victorian Tote. Western Sovereign, one of the outsiders of the field. Horse who at one stage was trained by Bart Cummings, Peter Donegan.
Yes, and Larry Cooper is now the trainer, Dan. Larry, congratulations. A big thrill to win over the Carnival.
Certainly was, Peter. It was a great effort by the horse and an excellent ride by Shane.
He got a fair way back in the field, and he's big odds on the tote, but, oh, well, by the look on your face, you've had something on him. Were you confident?
Well, we were pretty confident, and with the outside draw, the horse usually likes to race up on the pace and settle in behind the leaders. But with the outside draw and coming down the straight today, we knew those inside horses would get going pretty quick. So we figured if we could just settle him back a bit and just try and get him working hard from the down and don't time it out, which he did show coming out, got him working hard lovely. And just proved out, you know, to be the right record.
Race 7, the Gray Smith Stakes. Light on. Racing now. Alvon Trap stood there and missed the start by 10 lengths. And the first to begin was Fair Offer from Princess Pushy, Title Toff, and our Mungo Jerry. Plum Jam wider out with Painted Ocean. Then came Ragatan, 7th on the inside of Rashik. Then Dashing Kiwi, followed by Varo's last and Superior Way going around them. Prior Warning second last, and 5 lengths away Avon Trap after missing the start badly. 1,600 metres to go, and Plum Jam led by a length and a quarter. Now Painted Ocean went up on the outside to be second. Third on the inside, our Mungo Jerry. Then Princess Pushy, followed by around them out wide Fair Offer, Ragatan the inside, Title Toff the middle. A length and a half further back then to Ragatan, the inside of Superior Way. 2.5 lengths away, Varro's Last and Prior Warning, Dashing Kiwi, and last of all, Avon Trap, 10 lengths off the lead. Along the back they go, 1,200 metres to run, and Painted Ocean just got his head in front of Plum Jam, and they've raced out 4 lengths clear now of Al Mungo Jerry. Fourth, the outside Princess Pushy, a length and a half away, Fair Offer. Then came Ragatan, Title Top, a length and a half away, Superior Way, keeping Rashik in a pocket. 2.5 to Varro's Last and Prior Warning, Avon Trap and Dashing Kiwi. About 900 metres to go, and Painted Ocean and Plum Jam, they took off pretty early. They're out 3 lengths to Princess Pushy and Fair Offer. Then our Mungo Jerry, followed by Title Top, Superior Way, Rashik running into it. Ragatan got up on the inside, then well back in the field, Avon Trap, Dashing Kiwi and Prior Warning. They've bunched up on the turn, 600 metres to go, Painted Ocean in front, Plum Jam's under pressure, then Princess Pushy, Fair Offer, Rashik behind them, then Title Top, Ragatan and our Mungo Jerry. On straightening, 500 metres to go, Painted Ocean in front for Dittman, led by a length. Second, Princess Pushy, getting a run in the middle, Title Top, and then Fair Offer, Rashik down the outside. 300 metres to go, Painted Ocean just in front. Here's Rashik going for a run up on the inside. Fair Offer, Princess Pushy, Title Top. Rashik hit the front with 150 to go. Title Top getting up on the fence, Dashing Kiwi out wide. Rashik a length and a half in front. Title Top getting up on the inside of Princess Pushy, Dashing Kiwi. Rashik's in front, getting close to the post though, and Rashik wins. Seconds close, nearly a dead heat between Dashing Kiwi and Title Top. Close up fourth, Princess Pushy, and then Superior Way. Ragatan, Fair Offer, Painted Ocean, and then Prior Warning, Plum Jam. Our Mungo Jerry, Varro's Last, and last of all, Avon Trappy was hopeless after missing the kick by 10 lengths. Winner number 1, Rashik, settled well on the run, perfectly ridden by Michael Clark. He had a bit on these, he's improved a lot in recent weeks, and he's got the money from a very tight photo finish between Dashing Kiwi number 11 and number 12 Title Top. One in a photo between 11 and 12. They've run 2 minutes 4.5, that was the time. And number 1, the favourite, the winner, Rashik and the Graysmith.
Danny, he looked well before the race. He looked the class for the horse of the field, but the horse that we... here's the start of the race, and we'll see Avon Trap just stand there.
Still in the gates,
last horse to leave the gates now. Damien Oliver on him, but Michael Clark beautifully positioned all the way. Rashik travelled very nicely in the run, and
Dad's record, that must be a nice feeling.
Yeah, well, I thought we're never going to get there at one stage, but he's a good horse to do it.
He was just too classy for them at the end of the race, simple as that.
Yeah, he was. Michael took the liberty to cover a bit of extra ground coming to the 600, but when you've got that much horse under, you can do those things.
A truly run race obviously helped him because they did sprint up in front a long way from home.
Oh yes, and they came back and our horse just sort of got into his stride. So when you draw wide, it's always nice to have a truly run race because you can get into a lot of trouble otherwise. I
was very impressed with the way he walked around the mounting yard. He looks a placid horse because he's a 5-year-old stallion, but nothing seems to worry him.
That's right. He's got a great nature and very genuine. He's had 2 runs at Flemington and won them both now, and he beat it was only midweek, Phil, but he beat them well.
Now, what about the last? Have you got one in the last?
Yeah, got 2 chances. State Banquet, who won this race last year, and Edward Mack, so we might give the record a shake. You never know.
You never know. You might go one better than Dad. Well done, David.
Thank you.
David Hayes, the winning trainer in race 7.
There's Rashik coming back to scale with Michael Clark. Great achievement by the Clark brothers, Michael and Peter Quinella, the event. Peter rode the second place Dashing Kiwi, which is trained by Michael and Peter's dad, Arthur Clark. 1, 11 and 12 are the placings on the Graysmith Stakes. There's the head-on shot. Rashik is well almost down the middle of the picture with a white cap.